What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Honest Tattooer Podcast, brought to you by Tattoo Smart, Tattoo Pro, and Steadfast Tattoo Supplies. And if you want to support the show, please make sure that you visit our sponsors, and absolutely make sure you like this video. My name is John Mesa, and I'm joined by my co-host, Matt Triano.
Hey, how you doing?
And Hermes.
Hey,
taking the place of G Money today.
Yep.
What's up, Hermes?
And our very special guest, Ryan Roy.
What up?
What up, man? Welcome
Hey.
back to the pod.
This is numero tres.
Numero tres.
Yeah.
This marks your third kind of different set that you've been at.
Yes.
Right. right.
Yeah, every time Ryan's been here, it's been a different location.
Yeah.
I was on one of the first episodes, wasn't I?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I hear it was taken down. It used to be the number one most viewed.
Yes.
And then I was beaten out.
I know. Freaking Paul Booth, man.
No, I'm not mad about that. Yeah. The only one that can take me down.
I know, man. So what you been up to, man? It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. We think we were talking, it's been about a year, maybe a little bit more than a year.
Yeah.
A lot has changed. But I did just get back from Costa Rica, hanging out with Dan Cuban and Ben Shaw and Mike Chambers. We are planning a men's retreat for August.
That sounds like fun.
Woohoo! You should come. It's going to be a blast. I believe Russ Abbott is now also going to be joining us.
Sweet.
And it's going to be a men's retreat to reset revival.
Okay.
That's the idea. And so we thought, well, if we're going to do this retreat, we should, test our product out. Try before you buy. Let's all go to Costa Rica and hang out.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a blast. We went for 7 days, and Dan has a beautiful house down there. He's got a couple beautiful houses down there.
Yeah.
And we got to experience. There's a retreat center that this retreat that we're going to do is going to be held at this retreat center of Joy, and they have everything. I mean, the food is incredible. There are these sound baths. You ever done a sound bath?
I've heard about this, but...
So let me back up a little bit. So I got a DM from Dan, and he's like, yo, Ryan, my friend Ben told me I should reach out to you because I want to do this men's retreat, and he wanted there to be some sort of like financial education, business education going on at the retreat.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, Dan Cuban, awesome. So we hopped on a call, and I didn't know what to expect. Like, I've never talked to him before, but he was a very different person than I thought he was going to. He was like really spiritually woke and passionate. And I think on that call, he was like, yeah, I really want to help men like embrace their divine masculine and divine feminine energies and bring them into balance. And I'm like,
you're like, what? From Dan Cuban?
Dan Cuban, really? I was like, yeah, I will fuck with that all day. That sounds dope. And I was just really just excited to just find out more about who he was. And he is clearly just a genius in the way he thinks and designs and builds machines. And talking to him and realizing, like, his brain just works very differently than my brain or your brain. He's literally like building machines as he's talking to you in his brain. And he is kind of at this point in his life, he lost his wife, over the past year, and he calls it like the second mountain. Like, he's made this big impact. He's done the machines, revolutionized in tattooing in many ways, in my opinion. And he wants to continue to make an impact on particularly on men, on tattooers in general. But this one's going to be a male men's retreat. There will be other retreats that apparently are open to everyone and anyone, but there's a lot of weird toxic masculinity, a lot of weird energy, male dominated energy in the tattoo industry. And there's nothing wrong with male energy. It's just that it's out of balance. And I think that's what
man, honestly, dude, I've always been one of the people that, like, I hate the word toxic masculinity. Like, I hate that word because, like, we kind of know what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But, like, there's just... people are just either toxic or they're not. It doesn't matter if it comes from a dude or, like...
Well, here's what I'd say. I've experienced toxic masculinity from women in the tattoo industry. So it's not about, are you a man or a woman?
Yeah.
I have had multiple shop owners try to sleep with me, and I turned them down multiple times. It was awkward. I've been fired because I wouldn't sleep with one of my bosses.
God damn.
And that's toxic masculinity, in my opinion, just because it happened to come from a woman, but that's a masculine energy.
Yeah.
you know? And so if you get into like alchemical, you know, the Kabbalion and that kind of like whole world, the occult, the principle of gender, that everything in the universe possesses both masculine and feminine energies. And so to be your most authentic, powerful self, you have to try to bring these energies into balance.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, if you're anybody and you're completely oppressing your feelings, you know, and I feel like, you know, most people think of, you know, feelings and can connect with your feelings is a very feminine kind of like thing mentally.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you oppress that, then you're an unbalanced person.
Yeah. That's it. It's not about, we're not talking about how you identify as
none
a gender.
of that.
It's not about that, because regardless of that, everything and everyone has both of these archetypal energies in them.
Yeah.
And embracing your wholeness, who you are as a whole person, you know?
So what does one do at a male men retreat? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like in my eyes, I'm like, we're definitely shooting some guns. Yeah. We're fishing.
Ours.
Don't get me wrong, I think we are going to be riding some ATVs through the jungle.
Sharpen our knives.
We're going to sharpen our knives.
Get drunk.
We're just going to have sword fights, pissing sword fights. Someone I was talking to a tattooer the other day, and he said something I like. He was like, "Just because we're both at the urinal doesn't mean it's a pissing contest." I was like, "Fuck yeah, I like that." But yeah, no, we are going to. Here's some cool plans. We're going to be getting in touch with our emotions. We're going to be doing a sound bath. Have you ever done a sound bath?
Yeah. What is that?
What is a sound bath?
It is the closest thing that you will get to a psychedelic experience. Besides like a breath work, if you've done breath work, that's another thing. But like it is a deep, so you're lying down, you're blindfolded, you have a blanket over you, and then a sound bath practitioner, someone who is experienced in this, is going to have a whole slew of bowls and chimes and gongs and different things. And he's orchestrating, he's like the conductor, he's orchestrating these wavelengths that you're basically just being bombarded with the whole time in different forms, right? You're on a journey, and you leave your body. You leave your body. You completely go into another dimension. You see versions of yourself. Everyone's experience is different. Yeah. But oh my God, you feel like your soul just took a shit. Like you feel amazing afterwards.
Have you ever done like ayahuasca or anything like that?
I've done many ayahuascas.
I've done many of these ayahuascas.
Many ayahuascas. I've done a number over the past 6 years. I've done them maybe once or twice a year over the past 6 years. And I would compare this to that. And I don't think you need to ingest something to touch these higher realms. Yeah. But whether it's sound or breath work, if you've ever done like a
Wim Hof it out.
Kind of, you can have similar experiences to DMT experiences and transcend this realm of reality. Mike Chambers turned me on to the telepathy tapes.
What the heck is that?
Oh my goodness, this podcast. If anyone is ever doubting like consciousness on higher realms and different clairvoyance,
like doubting it,
telepathy,
like if it's
real, is this for real? Yeah. Like there's the materialistic view of the world where like everything can be measured and weighed and accounted for within physical material realm, right? That's the materialistic view. And then there's anything that challenges that. And so telepathy is one of those things. Mike was like, he was bombarding the group text between me and Dan and Ben. He's like, guys, you got to listen to this. You got to listen to this podcast. And we're like, okay, cool. And I started listening to it. It is about these children with autism. They are, they don't speak, you know, what do they call it? I can't remember. Nonverbal. And apparently most of these children, these people, whether they're adults, they develop telepathy. They develop the ability to read minds. They've tested it. They've proven it beyond a reasonable doubt.
What?
And this has been going on for decades. And the scientific world has been smothering this information. And so this podcast really brings it out. And you hear these stories, and it's not just 1 or 10 or 20 people. You're talking about like hundreds of people all over the world.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Russ Abbott. I am the founder of Tattoo Smart. I've also been tattooing for over 25 years. I use digital design tools in my tattoo process every day. And in this case, this video is going to explain a new product that I just created called the washi set. Now, the washi set is 17 handmade papers from Japan that I photographed and then turned into paper texture backgrounds, which you can use in Procreate. It also includes 21 different brushes that were designed for using with these papers, or it could be used with any background that you choose. As always, if you're interested in purchasing this or any of our other products, you can get them at tattoosmart.com.
And then they go and they meet in this other higher realm that they all call the Hill. And it's like a place where they meet up. It's another dimension where all these people, these nonverbal people with autism, are meeting up and conversing with each other, and they talk to angels. And
Bro,
dude,
this
check it out.
have you ever watched the movie Soul?
Oh yeah, the Pixar movie.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
What you just described of like people just tuning into a, you know, they're from in different places.
Absolutely. No,
and then they're meeting
profound.
in like what do they call that world where they're like, it's like where people are in like their flow state, and they're like in this like new kind of focused like meditation thing, and they'll meet there.
That is a profound movie.
It's
I
super
love that
profound
movie.
for kids, and it's crazy.
For kids, but literally it's for adults.
When did that come out? I never heard of that one.
Soul, you never watched Soul? That came out
3 years ago?
Maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I think and it's really, really good. But it's one of those movies that as an adult, and especially if you have like an artistic kind of like drive to like, you know, or an artistic dream that you want to achieve, and you feel like, man, I've been putting years to this and it's really hard, dude. And it connects with that. You'll probably cry. It's
there are moments in the movie.
Yeah, dude.
If you're a human being, if you have a heartbeat, like you're gonna
be
jerk
like,
some tears.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's one of those like, oh, this is, if you can watch that whole thing and not cry one time, dude, you're cold as ice.
Huh. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
So yeah, that's what we're gonna do at the men's retreat. We're gonna do some crying and get in touch with our emotions. And there's going to be a fashion show.
What?
Oh yeah. I think they're getting like a stylist to come, and like we're going to do like a photo shoot. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah,
I'm not even kidding.
I'm like waiting to see if he's like gonna look at me like I'm just pulling your leg. I'm
dead
like,
ass. And we're gonna ride some sick ass ATVs through the jungle, and we are gonna do like a little tattoo convention at the end. And tattoo some people from around Costa Rica. It'll be like a tattoo gathering.
When is all this supposed to take place?
It's going to be in August 2025, but you have to sign up like now because you got to get your tickets and stuff like that.
Early or late August?
Beginning of August. I think it's like the first week or so of August.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
You want to get on. There's only 20 people. 2 people have already signed up.
Yeah.
And everything's included once you get there.
Mm-hmm.
Your stay, your food, your everything, like it's all covered. You just got to get your ass there.
Get your ass there.
So DKResetRevival.com.
Freaking awesome.
That sounds pretty cool.
That sounds really
I've been blamed many times as the bad guy for not crying. So
this is a safe place to cry. No, but you know, I would say if for anyone that has felt like tattooing is fucking hard on your body, on your mind, you know, you get to stages in your life, whether you're a tattooer or not, where you need that community. You need to like reset your mindset, your perspective. There's going to be a lot of exercise, physical exercise, mental exercise, spiritual exercise, and you leave kind of like with that new reset, that new perspective that you need to serve you for the next 10 years of tattooing or whatever.
That's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
Like I consider myself a pretty like self-driven kind of dude, and like, you know, I always find ways to kind of get my ass up, stay motivated, work on as many projects as I can. But man, I'll be honest with you guys, like this beginning of this year has been so tough on me, both like just mentally and like physically in a way, you know, but like just overall, like, and during those moments, you know, you have like those like moments when you just feel so like beaten down and tired, you know, and like everybody has their own way to kind of be able to, you know, wind themselves back up, to have energy to keep going and moving along. But having a group of people that can share maybe a little bit of those moments, you know, and how they got through them, and being able to connect with people, it's really a way that can help you and it's funny based on like what you're talking about, like the sound baths, getting in tune to the right frequency.
That's
you know?
it. That's all
you
you're
get
doing.
in tune to the right frequency of you.
Yeah.
And you feel like you can do a lot more, and you
Yeah.
feel like more energized, and you feel like, you know, because it's always just perspective, right? You know, like,
That's it. It's all just perspective.
yeah. You know, sometimes the world feels like it's fucking rough on you, and you're like, man, like,
Yo, being a human is just fucked in
It's fucked,
general.
you know?
You're bombarded with feelings all the time, and then they're dictating your actions, and you're trying to make sense of it all. Nothing fucking makes sense.
yeah.
Being
And
a
I feel
human
like
is rough.
Tattooers have been having like a really tough time. So many people that I know, you're just stressed out, you know,
Yeah.
financially, because, you know, they're having to, you know, make ends meet with
Yeah.
a much slower economy, with like the prices of things getting higher and higher. And
Dude,
just,
every week,
wild.
I probably have at least 6 tattooers DM me every single week for the past 5-6 months that they're like, I'm thinking about getting another job.
yeah.
And these are tattooers that are over 10 years into the game.
Yeah.
I had a guy who was 17 years into the game the other day telling me, he's like, I think I got to do something else. Like, I
I
don't
think
know
we all
what I'm
have
gonna
a
do.
few friends, at least tattooers, who been thinking about that.
Yeah. For the first time in, as far as I can remember, in tattooing, I never met a tattooer that thought about doing anything else. It was not, you wouldn't even question it, you know?
Yeah. I love
yeah.
that post you made, and the one that you look like Jack Black.
Yeah.
Because like, you know what's crazy? Like when I saw that, you know, like I had just said that to one of my friends.
Okay.
You know, like literally earlier that week. I
Yeah.
was like, because he was like, man, I think I might have to get another job, dude. Like, just things are bad. And I was like, dude, you're too good of a tattooer,
Yeah.
you know, to have to go get another job.
So what do you tell these people when they say that to you?
Well, I say, look, you got to change something, right? If you keep doing what you're doing, expecting to get a different result, then that's not going to work. You know, that's part of what I do is I offer marketing education. So usually the first step is like, let's hop on a call, let's talk and see. I am all the way slammed booked out for the next couple months with calls. So I'm not even taking calls right now. So I have some coaches on my team that are supporting with that. We've had to scale to help the number of tattoo artists out there that need and want help with this kind of stuff. So if it, you know, usually I'll just DM, chat with people, see where you're at, what you need. But like what I often just tell people on the call is like, look, you need 3 things. You need structure. All marketing needs some structure,
Yeah.
some order of operations. I do this, and then this happens, and then this happens. And that can go for making content. That can go for bookings. That can go for your website or emails. You need systems because you can't do it all. You need scheduling software. You need automated email campaigns. You need a website that's SEO optimized, that has keywords that people in fucking Timbuktu are Googling tattoo artists in Timbuktu, and they're finding tattoo artists. They're just not finding you
Yeah.
because you don't have a website. I talked to a tattooer today, and they're like, they own a shop. And they're like, yeah, I just thought websites are like so old. I'm like, dude, right now there's someone in your area Googling. They're in Salt Lake City. There's someone in Salt Lake City definitely Googling, where do I get tattooed today? And they're just not finding you.
Yeah. It's kind of like you want to tell people, you want to get another job, make that job be your head of your marketing.
Yeah, that's the other job.
Yeah, make that
That's
job,
the job.
dude.
Yeah.
Instead of going out and fucking,
You're gonna make so much
going
more
doing some
money.
other bullshit, dude. Work for yourself twice as hard. Give
it.
yourself another position
Yeah.
and get off your fucking ass and just get out of that rut. Because like we talking about, sometimes you get into that rut where you're just like, there's nothing I'm going to do. You know, I've tried posting. I've tried doing this.
So here's the thing. That's the third thing that you need is you need consistency.
Consistency.
And people highly underestimate how consistent you need to be with something to succeed, particularly content. But like, look, anyone listening to this right now, if you just scroll through Instagram, just scroll down your feed for a little while. What are you seeing the most of? Mostly you're seeing people talking to their audience. That's because that's the content that people engage with the most. They enjoy connecting with social media. It's social. So be social. And when I go through Instagram accounts of tattoo artists, I see very little talking, very little connecting with. You know, it's like, here's my work, but like, I'm not going to talk to you. And I'm not going to say that that doesn't work. Like, there are people that are staying steadily booked out and they don't need to talk to a camera. But if you're not steadily booked out and what you're doing isn't working for you, just try talking about tattooing. Talk about why are you passionate? about the work that you do. Marketing, if it's anything, it's a transferring of emotion. You're passionate, you're excited about the thing that you do. And to get someone to pay you to do that thing for them, they need to be at least 1% as passionate as you are about the thing. Now, they'll never be as passionate as you, but how can you communicate the story? So let's say you do Japanese tattooing, or you do, occult black work or something. Like, there's so much symbology behind tattooing. There's so much stories, tarot cards, and all these, whatever you're doing, there's a story behind it. And so talk about that. Talk about why you're called to the motifs and the designs and the styles that you do. Tell the story behind you and your work, and transfer that passion that you have for what you do. That's how you're going to get people engaged. That's how you're going to get more followers. Start conversations, shoot them a DM, say, hey, what's up? Thanks for giving me a follow. And
you know what?
Start those conversations. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. You mentioned that last time, and I started doing it, and it works.
And it works.
That
yeah.
last part.
It works.
Yeah, if somebody goes to your page and they follow you and you think they might be interested in getting tattooed by you, send them a message like, hey, man, thanks for following me. It's think about like that person walked into your shop.
Right.
They were curious. You're just going to stand there and not say
better that you don't even look at them. You just hide behind your artwork.
Yeah.
That's...
This guy followed me, I think, from Florida, tattooer. And I sent him a message. And he's like, hey, was this automated or did you just write it? I'm like, wasn't automated. But...
I wish you would have responded like, no, I am a robot.
Send him a voice message.
Send
like, I am a robot.
Send him a voice message and say that.
Steadfast Tattoo Supply, owned and operated by professional working tattoo artist Frankie Porcelli, demanding top-performing materials, from the highest quality pigments and medical supplies to tailor-made needles and cartridges with true line weights. Steadfast also specializes in custom machines built from scratch in-house and offers professional or group machine building seminars. Steadfast does everything to keep you and your clients covered. Steadfast, supplies that work as hard as you do.
So just technically, there are softwares that will automatically DM new followers for you, and they are not approved by Meta. So if you get caught using them, you could get your account banned. There is DM automation.
Just copy paste.
Right, exactly. That's fine. But anyone out there who's like, oh, I'm just going to get one of those softwares that just automatically DMs, you just watch out.
Even
there
with
is
copy pasting, if you do it too much in a row, like it also thinks you're spamming.
Really?
You gotta do a lot.
You
of that
gotta
stuff.
do it a lot.
But you gotta do a
I've
lot of
tested
it.
it.
Yeah.
I've tested it.
To see how far you got to push it.
Yeah, I've been warned by Instagram like on a handful of times, but like I just kept doing it.
Yeah, like whatever.
Well, I have two versions.
That's good enough.
English and Greek.
Nice.
There you go. Oh, you're Greek.
Yeah.
My wife is Greek.
Oh.
Yeah, both her parents are from Greece. Yeah, she's like 100%.
Maybe I'll see you there.
Maybe I'll see you there.
Somewhere.
Yeah, she's like Spartan, dude. Like, watch out. She's like the real deal.
Peloponnese? Where?
Yeah. Her parents' name is, or her maiden name is Petropolis, Rock City. But yeah, we actually got engaged in Costa Rica, and
Cool. Congrats.
thank you. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I just thought that would be a good way to. We were talking about getting married for a while, and actually, the story behind that is a little cute. So I hired her on LinkedIn. That's how we met. Met on LinkedIn, the dating app of 2025.
I hired her. Now she's my wife.
Now she's my wife.
Yeah.
Put her on payroll. But yeah, I needed someone to run back-end operations for the Artful Dollar and handling all the automations and systems and billing and everything like that. And so, yeah, I put it out on LinkedIn this is like over 2 years ago. And we were working, no, this was like almost 3 years ago. Shit, that's crazy. Yeah, because we were working together for a year and a half. And then like all of a sudden one day I was like, Thamai, we're flirting. Is that okay? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, like, what do we do? Like, she lives like 3 hours away from me. So she lives in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
She's on her way here right now. She's coming to the city tonight.
Cool.
But yeah, so that's how we met. She's a self-proclaimed basic bitch from Rhode Island. And I fucking love her more than anything. And yeah.
That's great, man. You look
man.
happy. Good to see that, man.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So, anyway, you said you were Greek. That's all. But back to Instagram.
Where were we?
We were talking about DMing people.
Oh, yeah.
We
So
were on
here's
storytelling, which
and storytelling. Yeah.
we talked about that a couple of times, how important it is to be a storyteller while you're posting. And if something that is even better than just storytelling is disruptive storytelling, and kind of just break up the monotony and break up the repetitiveness and stand out more than everybody else telling the same story. Because how many people are doing, let's say you were talking about like Japanese or occult tattoos, right?
Yeah.
If there's 500 people all doing that, telling the same story, like, oh, this is what this tattoo.
I don't see anyone fucking doing
But
that.
I'm just saying, if there were,
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
right? Like, how do you
Like literally
how do you
telling
stand
a
out?
story in tattooing is disruptive
That is-
storytelling.
yeah,
at
you're
its
right.
core.
You're right. Right.
That's true.
Just kind of get away from
Yeah.
the normies.
Yeah, the normies.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like if there's so many different styles of tattooing, there's so many stories to tell.
That's it. There's an infinite number of stories. I'm in a social media program learning about social media because there's always stuff to learn. And that's one of the things we're talking about, scripting and writing and how do you. So actually, this is a good little tip that I learned. He was talking about South Park and how Trey Parker, Matt Stone, is that what it
Yep,
is?
this is
Yeah,
right.
got him right. They are always like, you want your first sentence to always have, I think it's and or but, or and or but, right? There's a and this, or maybe something like that. It's always leading into the next thing.
Yes. Yeah.
I could be botching
You're right. I
that.
watched this
Okay.
this video. It's
Okay, yeah.
absolutely true.
Yeah, there's it's a cool video. So thinking about
And therefore.
and therefore, that's
Yes.
what it was. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And
Everything is like
therefore.
everything that happens and then that happened. Therefore,
Right.
this
Therefore, this
creates
happened.
this other next thing.
Right. And you can take that very literally, but you can apply it in a lot of different ways. You can apply it to your scripting, like in carousels. I was using it in a carousel I posted today, where I'm always the transition to the next thing is a more or less and or therefore, or but this, like this, but this,
Yeah.
and just giving people a reason to want to know what you're going to say next. So in copywriting, which again, all marketing, everything, whether it's content, website, email, ads, it's all communication. All communication is essentially coming down to words, symbols for things, which are words. And so copywriting is the art of writing copy for emails, sales pages, websites, whatever. So that's the fundamental skill that everyone, if you want to get better at marketing, you need to understand copywriting. And then I was going somewhere with this.
Well, one thing I'd say, if you say that, guys, just go on your computer and be like, hey, ChatGPT, explain to me copywriting in terms of tattooing for me.
Yes. Yeah. Right. So Andrew,
Ask that question.
Is it Andrew Schwartz? I think that's his name. Anyway, this is
Andrew
famous copywriter. He says the purpose of the first sentence in anything is to get them to read the second sentence. The purpose of the second sentence is to get them to read the third sentence. And so you're always thinking about it like a ladder. Like why would someone reading the hook or listening to the hook, why would they care enough to listen to the second sentence? And the whole purpose is to get them to the end where you want to think, and this is what you want to think about, your content should leave them feeling some type of way. And how do you want your audience to feel? I was working with a client, and one thing I have everyone do, if you've seen people making these introduction reels, make an intro reel. If someone were to come to your page, what would you want them to know about you? And then pin that to the top. And I had this client, he's Eastern European client. Some of them are working with content and is a little bit, it's different, let's just say.
Yeah.
Their version of authenticity is not my version of authenticity, right? I'm kind of bubbly, kind of funny. They're a lot more serious.
Hello, my name is Milos.
But lean into it, Exactly. But lean into it. Embrace that. If that's who you are, you don't need to be something you're not. But this client, he made this introduction reel, and I was like, Mikowai, how does this video make you feel? He's like, depressed and dark and despairing.
Depressed
I was like,
and
cool.
dark.
So is that how you want people to feel after they see your content? He's like, no. I'm like, okay, maybe we should do something about this. So it's thinking about the feeling that you're leaving people with. That's so important in content because they're going to remember that. And you might think like, oh, I make a reel and no one sees it, and what's the fucking point? I've made reels that didn't get crazy views. Also, like none of my content goes viral. But I've made a lot of reels that didn't do well, And then months later, I'll be talking to a tattoo artist and they'll remember something I said on some bullshit fucking reel that I forgot I made, but it resonated with them for months after. And you have to remember that your content, while it might be up for a day and only get 300 views, there might be one person that it resonates with. And that's why you have to be consistent. Because if you get 300, 500, 1,000 views, 2,000 views, and you're consistent, by the end of the month, you've had 40,000 people see you, your work, your content, your brand. And you used to have to pay fucking $10,000 to get 40,000 people to see you. Now you can do it for free. You just have to show up.
Often forget too. They think of like Instagram and social media as, oh, I got to go viral, I got to get millions of views. But if you put it in the context of actually being in front of 300 people, that's a lot.
That's a lot of people.
Put 300 people in a room, and you have to be in front of 300 people and tell your thing in front of 300 people. I bet if you're not used to doing that, you're going to shit your pants. Like, holy shit, there's a lot of people.
I've done 100. It's like awkward as.
Yeah. 300 people is a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
It doesn't seem that way when you're looking at other people who go viral. And
you're comparing yourself to other people. And that's the absolute worst thing you can do in all art forms, in tattooing, in content. I teach basically content marketing to tattoo artists, and I always compare it to tattooing. So it's like, you want to be good at tattoos, and people always say, what do they always say? They're always like, I just don't know what to say. I'm like, okay, have you sat down for 30 minutes and written out a couple ideas? No. Okay, well, that's like saying I don't know what to draw, but you never sat down to sketch. So your excuses, you have a lot of excuses, but you don't have a lot of actions. You don't have a lot, and people are taking 30, 40, 50% pay cuts. I talk to 12 tattooers a week. I'm booked out for months, talking to 12 appointments every week. They are between 40 and 50% of what they're making a year or two ago. I'm like, cool. So since then, what did you do before you booked this call to improve your marketing? I handed out business cards. I'm like, why didn't you do more? Why didn't you do anything? If I took a 50% pay cut, I would be fucking hungry. I'd be out there, I'd be understanding copywriting and websites and email campaigns and funnels and how do I trigger this and ads and local marketing. I would do everything to make that money back because it's my fucking job because no one's going to do it for me. That's the mentality of an entrepreneur, of a business owner. And I think that a lot of tattooers haven't needed to embrace that mentality. You could just show up, pull a half decent line, and make some money. And now what is required has changed.
So you were saying before that a lot of the people that are DMing you about this are people who've been tattooing for a while.
A lot have been tattooing for. Not everyone. I've talked to a lot of tattooers. My minimum to work with someone, I don't work with anyone that hasn't been tattooing professionally for 1 year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I guess it's going to be my follow-up question. Do you think that it's because of the people who have been tattooing longer, they're kind of set in their ways, and they're the guys who are like, oh, you know what, I got into tattooing to tattoo. I didn't get into tattooing to be a marketing, marketing guy.
No, I see a lot of younger tattooers are struggling just as much.
A good mix of both.
Yeah. Because again, they learned to tattoo, and for the past 2 years, they've been tattooing professionally, pouring every ounce of their soul into tattooing because that's what it fucking takes. And they didn't have to focus on marketing. And they work at a walk-in shop, and they're just not getting as many walk-ins as they used to. And they're like, well, what can I do?
Well, I think tattooers tend to kind of put themselves in these boxes, right? Like you just mentioned, a very kind of typical scenario of like the tattooer that works at a walk-in shop. And they maybe worked, during an era where there were lots of walk-ins and they were busy and they were able to make good money. Maybe that time has...
The good old days.
That time is gone, right? And they see themselves, and this is so funny, they see themselves not as necessarily like entrepreneurs or like it's their business.
Perspective.
Right? They don't see themselves as that.
Yeah.
In one way, they do see themselves as independent because they're like, I'm a tattooer and I show up to the shop when I want and I do what I want and I have all this freedom, but then when it comes to like, well, why are you promoting yourself? And I'm like, well, I work at the shop should be promoting me and the shop should be doing this. It's like, oh, that sounds like you're an employee, but you're really not an employee. And you don't treat yourself at all like an employee.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you don't want a normal job, but you don't want to have to do what normal businesses do either.
Correct.
You can't. There was a golden era of tattooing, and we can all be, that was cool. That was nice.
That was sick. The pirate days.
The pirate days. And if you got to be a part of that, that's a blessing. You were blessed.
It was a good moment.
It was a good moment in time. And the thing I say all the time is like, the world changing isn't a problem, but you not adapting to the world changing is a problem.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of change coming. You if you don't like where we're at right now, you're not going to like what's coming down the pipeline in the next 10 years.
It's kind of like, I think people love to hate on social media and feel like, Instagram is, destroying everything. And now I have less opportunities because they control how many people see my posts and all of this stuff. But like, what if tomorrow some shit went down and they just shut that whole thing down?
Yep.
Right.
What are you going to do then?
Well, I think like 2 years ago, they had some issues where Instagram didn't work for a day.
Oh, people were scary and they were like,
Panicking.
The global
Imagine
economy.
if all your clientele from Instagram is gone.
Gone.
yeah, I think
And you're like-
most tattooers would be scared at that point.
Yeah. I mean, almost a lot of us.
What happened to TikTok? Is that not going anywhere?
It's there.
It's there.
It's there. I haven't seen it disappear.
Yeah.
All right.
It disappeared for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was for like less than a weekend. It's like, and
I think it was
selling-
like down and then up again the same
They
day.
were saying-
selling
day.
phones with TikTok already.
installed, right?
Installing the app.
I
for
remember that.
thousands
Yeah.
Your
of-
money.
All right, so we literally do everything. We're going to help you 3 to 5x your income simply by maximizing your output. At the Force of Focus, we have 4 different members in leadership who have all dedicated more than half their lives to this industry, both in and out of the tattoo career, to give you every resource you could ever imagine. Everything from personal development to branding and marketing, content, business innovation, business infrastructure, and financial literacy and investments that are truly going to work for you. Now, if this is something you're interested in, or if you just want to know more about it, click the link below or shoot us a DM at the Force of Focus on Instagram and let's get a conversation rolling.
TikTok fiends, dude.
And like, Instagram there was a time where Instagram wasn't here, right? And
Yeah.
then it was. And there will be a time where it's not.
Yeah, it's something else.
There will be. You can guarantee it. If you follow Gary Vee, he's a good marketer.
Yeah.
He tells you, it's like, there will be a time where there won't be, it'll be something else. And then everyone's going to complain about that and wish that back on the good old days when Instagram was,
Remember MySpace?
right. Remember MySpace?
the shit.
Yeah.
Remember Vine?
Fine. And so there'll be some like VR worlds that we're all marketing in the future, or something like that, and you're going to have to adapt or go work for someone else.
Or just say no and then deal with the consequences.
You know who's not complaining about all this stuff? The people that are adapting, the people
Yeah.
that are spending their time and energy figuring out what they need to do to grow their business. Those are the people that are not complaining about it because they're too busy learning how to adapt.
Yeah. How do you stay motivated and wanting to learn that? I feel like that's the where it's hard for, older tattooers, maybe guys who feel like I don't want to be on my phone all the time.
I think seeing your bank account drain is motivation.
It's motivation enough to go do
Right.
it, right?
When people are like, I don't want to make stupid reels and people will think I look stupid. Like, what looks stupider? You making a reel or like you not being able to pay your bills?
That was dumb.
That looks dumb.
Yeah.
And I think if I have any superpower, it's that I am willing to look like a fool as many times as it takes to learn the thing that I need to learn. I will fuck it up. I will fail. I don't care. And I will do that persistently, consistently. I think I just never fit in anywhere in my entire life, even in like the weird misfit scenes. I felt like I didn't fit in. And so I just stopped caring.
I love the video that you put out. It's probably a while ago now, where you were dancing and you're like, "Look, I'm still here. Nothing
Still
happened."
here. I didn't die. I'm like, hold on, this is for science. Like, what? Just hang on a second. I'm dancing. Okay, see, I'm still here. I'm not
dancing
dead.
on Instagram, guy.
Right? And the thing is, nothing in my marketing education, there's nowhere where it says, okay, and now you will dance on camera. Like, that's not a requirement. No one needs to dance to continue to tattoo.
Yeah.
But if you did, like, would it be so bad? And if like people thought it was funny and like they related to you and they're like, okay, cool, that person doesn't take themselves too seriously.
Yeah.
I want to get tattooed by them. Would that be so bad?
Yeah. It's like, maybe you don't dance. Maybe you just freaking thrash hat to like, thrash your head to like heavy metal. Like, I don't dance on Instagram. I just pop my head like this.
Content is...
See, I cannot even do that.
I think that as for all the weird fake bullshit that there is out there with content, I think that it is actually a tool to discover your own authentic expression, your own authentic message that you want to give to the world. And I think that's really cool. I think anything that helps you get in touch with that true, pure, authentic expression, whatever it is, whether that's through your tattoos or through your content or through anything, I think that's what I get the most excited about in life. To find that true, authentic expression, you got to fucking march your way through the mud and the mire and the bullshit.
Yeah.
But that's anything. That's learning to get your style of tattoos that you want to do. Like, you got to make a bunch of bullshit,
I think that's interesting because I feel like the tattooer has a lot of fucking like guts in the beginning of their career. They're willing to fucking do tattoos that are too hard and maybe fuck it up. And like, I learned from this and I move forward. But if you tell them to take that same approach to making good content for, promoting themselves, right? They're like, I don't want to take that chance.
You can delete the video. You can't delete the tattoo.
Yeah.
Like you already did the hard thing. You made a bunch of shitty tattoos that are still around, but you're afraid to make a bunch of shitty content that you could delete at any moment.
And guys, like even when we started the podcast, we did how many episodes before we we're like, all right, these are good enough.
I want to say about 75.
Yeah. We're like, oh, these are actually coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my early podcasts and YouTube videos. They got like 4 or 5 views, and I did it, and they kept getting 4 or 5 views for a while, and then 20, and eventually we just recently hit like 1,500. I think we might have hit 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is in the top 10% of all YouTube channels. Is
that right? Really?
Yeah, most 90% of YouTube channels don't have 1,500 subscribers.
Wow.
Yeah,
that was something I did not know.
Yeah.
YouTube, as far as long form content, especially podcasts, is hard to break through.
It is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Also, the content that I watch on YouTube myself, it's usually 12 minutes long. Usually every video that I watch tends to be like 12 minutes. And then there's a few that I watch that are like 30. And then there's like then the very rare hour and a half, 3 hour long, like long format.
I know personally for me, if I see a video that looks interesting, but it's more than 20 minutes long, I'm like,
should I come into this?
Yeah. I don't know how it is now, but I remember a couple of years ago hearing that there was a minimum requirement for 8 minutes to be considered long form content, and you get monetized like better.
Yeah.
But so that's why a lot of people were going more than 8 minutes. I don't know what that is now.
Now, do you guys feel that you get tattoo clients because of this podcast?
No.
No?
No, I feel like this podcast is really for you guys, for the tattooer that's like listening.
Do you feel like there are any clients that listen to this podcast?
Yes.
They do.
So I feel like it has allowed some of my clients and just people that probably were maybe still like on the fence on getting tattooed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To like then just get to know more
Absolutely.
of the person, and get to know more about us.
Yeah.
And I love the clients that come in that get tattooed by anybody in the shop. Like, I listened to you guys on the podcast, and you can already tell that they do feel like they know a little bit of us. And then like, oh man, that place is so cool. I would love to hang out there, because like you guys' dynamic on the podcast, it seems like a fun vibe. Yeah. And like, I feel like that's the plus.
It is 100% helping you convert warm leads into hot leads into clients.
Yes.
100%. And I think long form content is one of the best marketing tools you for any tattoo shop, any business, period. I don't care if you sell fucking concrete or how boring your business is. If you make long form content and you're talking about the industry you're in or what you do or why you're different from other people or just shooting the shit, there are going to be people that are they're going to be considering you and other people, but you have a YouTube channel. So they're going to get to know you more, and people trust what they're more familiar with. And so because they've built that familiarity with you and they get a sense of who you are, they're way more likely to work with you over other tattoo artists that don't have a YouTube channel, even if the content is for other tattoo artists. I was talking to John Nelson, I was talking to his like team. He's got like a team of people that help him make everything that he does. And we were considering, partnering on something in the future. And what I was really found this fascinating. They said that they're focusing on a lot of not like tattoo education necessarily, but kind of like about tattooing, like how you do things. And this isn't to like school people, but they said the reason they're doing it is because their clients are interested in it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people. You ever watch a show like How It's Made?
Yes.
Love
That show is fucking
Love it.
awesome.
Yep.
I'm never going to go and like make bean bags,
Yeah.
but I'm fucking
Curious.
fascinated as to how the fuck they're made.
Yeah.
And they realized that they were getting more followers and views from people that were not tattoo artists that were just interested in how tattoos are made and the behind the scenes and how needles work and different skin depths and stuff. And so this stuff that we've been gatekeeping and like being all hush hush about is actually like great marketing material that if you were to share it, your potential clients would be stoked to learn about, and they would build more trust with you because it positions you as an authority in your field. To them, they don't know that you're not the best tattoo artist in the world, but you're the one talking about this stuff. And so they build that trust with you over someone else that isn't talking about it.
Talking about breaking the mold, there's no tattooer, I shouldn't say no tattooers, but there are a few tattooers who use YouTube as a platform to promote themselves.
Very few, and the ones that are ahead of the game.
Yeah.
They are ahead of the curve, and that's one of my predictions for the next 10 years of tattooing. Two pretty strong marketing predictions. One is long form content is going to, like, the people that thrive are going to be embracing long form content in whatever capacity, even if it's just a once a month, even if you just got 5 episodes of some bullshit that you recorded in the shop, it's better than having nothing. It's something easy for people to share. If you want to get your clients to help market you, make it easy for them to market you, and sharing a YouTube video on something is an easy way to do it. The other thing is, I think that everyone's going to be running ads. Everyone at the top level of tattooing, and not just tattoo shops, but individual tattoo artists. I've been learning a lot about ads, particularly Facebook and Meta ads. And I also think you can do it yourself. A lot of this stuff is not that complicated. And I think that a lot of people are going to be just embracing that even in the next year. I think you're going to see a lot of tattooers. But I would say ads are not a replacement for organic marketing because all they're doing is building awareness.
Yeah.
It's like you guys run ads, right?
For
Don't you have like Google ads for your
yes,
shop, right?
for the shop, yes.
Right? I bet if you ran Google ads to the podcast, I bet you convert more clients.
I believe you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because
I
all
started
the
last
ads
month.
are doing, they're really just building awareness. But if you build awareness to something that nurtures trust, that nurtures the relationship, then you have a higher chance of converting the prospect into a client. So if you think there's like the 4 stages of awareness, build trust, have a conversation, book a tattoo. If you're just running ads, but you don't have organic content marketing to build the trust and create the conversation, then all that awareness at the top of the funnel isn't going to convert down to the bottom of the funnel.
Yeah.
So and this is just an ad strategy. Anyone can mimic this. It's super easy to do on Facebook and Instagram. I run ads that target a lookalike audience similar to my audience, which my audience is tattoo artists. You can localize it. So you can say, I only want a similar audience in this local specific area. And then I have other ads that retarget my current followers with other stuff, mainly just YouTube videos. I'm not selling anyone anything in any of my ads.
Yeah.
I'm giving people stuff in all of my ads. So that's the other thing. Like, you want to use Instagram as a platform to give, and then you can ask. But if you're just wondering, if you're just asking, hey, do you want to get tattooed with me? Hey, I have availability next week. How to cancellation? Who wants to get tattooed? You want to get this flash? You want to do this thing? If you're just asking and you're not giving, then you're trying to withdraw from a fucking overdrawn bank account,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody likes being sold to.
No one likes being sold to. Yeah.
Most likely, if anybody, the first instinct that they feel like this is an ad, they're going to start scrolling. They're not going to want to watch.
My best ad, one of my best ads running right now is the one where I'm like, how many tattoos does a house cost? Have you
Oh
seen
yeah,
that?
yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, I'm running that as an ad. And then at the end of it, I'm not even selling anything. I'm giving you a free YouTube video on how to save money. That's it. DM me this. And people hit it up, and I get really great results on that.
That's awesome.
It's not an ad. I mean, it is an ad, but it doesn't look like an ad. It's entertaining content, educational, and then it's giving you something for free. And then I built that trust so that when we do have a conversation, you're way more likely to convert and want to talk to me or someone on my team.
Just planting those seeds.
Planting those seeds. But you have to think long term. Everyone wants the quick, I want clients now. It's like, all right, I'd rather plant a bunch of seeds that are going to become clients next year.
A lot of times, even if you run an ad, maybe you'll get that person, like the ad maybe got that person to just follow you.
Yeah.
But then you're going to have to do more to gain,
You're gonna have to
build
more.
a little bit of trust,
Then you send them a message.
Then the next steps, keep going. Don't quit
That's
on
it.
the first, like,
On average, it takes 3 to 6 months for someone to follow a business, and then 3 to 6 months from there become a client or buy from that business.
Yeah.
And different industries is different. You could probably say tattooing is longer because it's more of a commitment.
Oh, yeah.
You're not just buying a jacket.
I've had people tell me, I've been following you for like 5 years.
Yep.
And I finally just got tattooed by you.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have to play the long game, and you have to nurture the entire time. You can't just sit around waiting for people to hit you up.
Absolutely. Man.
I heard today, I think it's Tractor Supply. All of their content is generated by the employees of the store. And so they'll have like a camera guy come in and they'll say, "Hey, Ryan, you're in the jacket department today. Talk to me as if I'm a customer coming in and you're really excited about these jackets that just came in this line this month. Tell me about these jackets." And then they'll film that, and then that's their content. So they do that for a bunch of the employees that work there, and now they have all this organic content that they didn't have to hire anybody to like make these really nice elaborate stuff. The people there know what they're talking about.
Right.
So if you take that with the tattoo shop, we got how many artists here? 9, 10?
Yeah. 9.
Have every artist in your shop just talk to the camera as if the camera is a potential client walking in. Show your portfolio, be like, I just drew this. This is really cool. Check these out.
Yeah.
If you want to,
That's a great content idea.
Yeah.
Steal that, somebody, please. And if you do, just tag Honest Tattooer on it so we can see it.
Yeah.
But that's a great content idea. Have one of your other buddies at the tattoo shop that isn't tattooing, because from what I hear, there's a lot of us right here. So you're like, "Hey, man, just record me and ask me a question." I was like, "Hey, do you have any flash available?" And you're like, "Yeah, dude, let me show you what I got." And then have them ask you questions, or just tell them, like, "I drew this because of XYZ reason, and this is why I really want to tattoo this design. So I'm stoked about it."
Yeah.
Where could this go? We could put this here, just sell that design. If you have like we said, just 300 people, look at that.
Right. Another good thing is ask your clients if they'd be willing to be in some content. Because when people see people, they need to envision themselves like in the seat of your clients.
Yeah.
And so when they see people actually working with you, they're like, ha 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 ha, having a great time. But like it's a lot of marketing is subconscious. It's on a subconscious level. Someone's like, "Oh, that person's having a great time getting tattooed by John. I should hit John." And it's like, you're not consciously thinking it, but subconsciously you are. Yeah.
Let me ask you about this, right? I've spoken to a few artists, and they all kind of seem to have this block of like, they don't want to ask anything of the client at all. Like, we had somebody on recently that was like, "Man, after I tattooed somebody, like, I don't even want to like keep them too long to get a good picture of my tattoo." They're like, "I just, I want to get them in and get them out." And I'm like, well, I think being at the shop should be a good experience that people should want to be like, "I'll just hang out here for like a little bit because this has been fun."
Sometimes I'll just tell people like, "Hey, we're going to let your tattoo chill out for like 15 minutes because like I don't want it to be swollen and weird and bloody. And then I'm going to need about 20 to 30 minutes to get some good photos." And I just set up the expectation. So they're like, "Oh, okay, cool. I'll chill out. I'm going to eat a sandwich or something."
I could hear an OG tattooer right now being like, "Oh my God, I cannot believe this."
But if you so what that comes down to is like, honestly, it's like a sense of worthiness.
Yeah, I feel like it's their internal dialogue is telling them not to do that.
You don't believe that you are worthy or deserving of their time, even though you just put your whole fucking soul into their fucking tattoo. You left a piece of your fucking soul on their arm, and then you don't think you're worth having them stay for another 30 minutes to chill, let it settle, and get a really good photo. Like that's a you problem. That's not a them problem.
Yep.
If you really ask your client, they'll be fine with it.
If
think
Gabe
so.
was here, he would 100% agree with you. You always have them wait at least half an hour.
Oh yeah.
But also,
dude.
like, put yourself into that position. If you were the client and your tattooer just did this rockin' tattoo on you and then was like, all right, cool, get out.
Bye.
Like, well, what the hell, man? Like, you don't want to take a good picture of this? Now they're going to doubt that maybe he fucked up and I don't even know.
Right.
Why are you not proud of this tattoo to actually take the time to take a photo of it?
You really want to go the extra step. Like, have a set of questions that you ask your clients, and like do this with like your dope fucking clients, the people that you really fucking chill with, and like, hey, do you mind if I just get you talking about your experience of working with Ryan? And so say, you know, before I reached out to Ryan, I was thinking about getting da 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 da. Okay, during my consultation, Ryan da 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 da, fill in the blank. So give them some prompts and then have them fill in the blank.
Yeah.
You know, after I saw the design, that was fucking sick, you know, fill in the blank. And overall, the experience of working with Ryan is fill in the blank. Give them some prompts and then record them and tell people, say like, look, we can record this a couple times. I can delete things. I'm going to make you look amazing.
Yeah.
Like, make them feel confident. I record a lot of testimonials. We work with hundreds of tattooers around the world. I do this all the time. So just take this advice and use it with your clients. Make them feel comfortable. Tell them like, look, we're going to record for like 15 to 20 minutes. I only need 2 minutes of this stuff. So I'm going to delete a lot of it. Ask a lot of questions because they're going to get comfortable. Also here, tell them not to talk to you, but to talk to whoever's watching the video. Mm-hmm. So when I was with Ryan, you know, then the person watching the video is going to feel like they're hanging out with their friend. They met someone at a bar and they're telling them about this fucking cool tattoo artist that they just got tattooed by. And they're expressing the emotion and the excitement that they have for the overall experience of getting tattooed by you, which raises your perceived value. There's value and then there's perceived value. You could be really valuable, but your perceived value is down here. So when someone talks you up about the whole experience and how you exceeded their expectations, you were worried, you were nervous that the tattoo might not go this way, but then you saw the drawing and you felt good. And in the end, you looked in the mirror and you were blown away. That raises your perceived value when someone else sees someone else talking about you that way. And that is going to help you charge more. It's going to help you get more clients. So there's tons of stuff you can do.
There's so many tools to get more clients.
So many tools.
It's all about, you know, just unlock that in your own head that your choices are limited or that you have to go start dancing to like get a client on Instagram.
There's like a million dominoes. There's local marketing, email marketing, social media, websites, ads, all these things. But then like, what's the big domino?
Yeah.
What's really stopping you? And that's what I try to get to when I'm working with someone one-on-one, or it's like, what's that big domino that you've been stuck for 2 years? You took a 50% pay cut and all you did was hand out more business cards and post pictures of tattoos. You didn't really change anything. That's an internal, that's a subconscious mind issue. That's not an external problem.
I feel like a lot of people feel either I'm too old for this shit. You know, like I've been doing this for too long. Like, why am I doing this? And I feel like it's hard for them to like get over that mental barrier that they've created themselves. You know, they created these walls.
That's it.
I mean, it's not easy, that consistency you're talking about. It's easier said than
Sounds
done.
like you have a lot of excuses. No, I'm joking.
No, but like at the beginning
It's
of
not
the year,
easy. You're absolutely right. It's not easy.
I did a list and I said, I'll do one reel a week. I don't do one reel a week. Maybe I'll do, twice a month. Or like,
it's really, it's
like
just
things are getting delayed and like...
it's what you prioritize.
Yeah.
That's all strategy is what are you prioritizing? And if you're prioritizing being consistent with your content because you have a long-term goal of making sure that you are, building, nurturing this audience because you know it's going to pay off. I think that's the hardest part. It's like you're excited to get started and make the list, and like you see yourself one day making all this money and getting all these clients. But it's the marathon of doing it and showing up. And that's the hardest part for people. And that's where most people drop the ball.
I agree. I think it goes back to that example that we gave you earlier of like, hey, I just hired you to be your marketer, right? I just hired you. And think of yourself like, Like, think that, you know, let's say I hired you to market for me and make believe that I already paid you for it, right? You're going to work hard. You know that you have to post at that time. If not, you're going to get fired from your job.
Yeah.
You know? So start looking at your own work for yourself with that level of like, oh man, I got to do that tomorrow. Like this, I need to make sure that I edit this by tonight. So it's ready to post and scheduled for tomorrow at blah. And like actually hold yourself accountable for it.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you need to organize, and like scheduling helps, at least in my case. But,
And not for nothing, guys, but if you don't have any appointments coming up, you got nothing to draw for, what are you wasting your time?
You got your time.
People tell me all this, they're like, I just don't know how the time. I'm like,
What are you doing?
Because you're so busy tattooing. You don't have the time to market yourself. Like, no, that's not it.
Like, I get it. If you got family and all that, that's that takes a priority, and you should be taking care of that stuff first.
Right.
But if you had clients booked out who needed things drawn for, you would be taking time away from your family to draw that stuff.
100%.
So if you're not drawing that stuff, use that time to help yourself.
I
promote
literally
yourself.
don't let myself say the words, I don't have enough time. I've taken it out of my vocabulary because I feel like I manifest that. I convince myself that I don't have enough time. If I'm saying that, you'll never hear me say it. You'll never hear me say I don't have enough time for that.
what I say is, if Matt has time for this, I have time.
I say that all the time. That's actually one of my favorite. Like, dude, Matt has way more shit to do than I did.
Dog, house,
Yeah.
podcast,
Yo.
all the time. I don't know how you do it.
I don't know how I do it either.
You know.
I don't know how Matt does it, but yo,
I
Matt,
get it done.
you
get it done.
are a man to fucking just respect, bro.
That's why in the back of my mind, man, when I see people who are just like sitting around doing nothing, I'm like, bro, do something. Do just anything.
Anything.
Stop scrolling through your phone. Like, I get it. I scroll through my phone a lot too also, but I don't know, man. If
Put a block. I have a blocking app that blocks Instagram during certain hours.
I got to do that. I have the timer set. Like, oh, you spent your hourly limit, your daily hourly limit on Instagram. I set myself for 1 hour, but it's just too easy to be like, oh, ignore limit for today.
Yeah.
Sit and snooze on it.
I use the Opal app, and you can set up blocks, and then it will allow you to take a break from your block for up to 15 minutes. But you have to wait like 20, 30, 40 seconds to even get to that point. So it makes it harder to use Instagram.
Okay.
And that's all it's doing. It makes it harder to use it for the amount of time that you want. And I find that has really helped me. So early in the morning, I don't use it first thing in the morning. And I don't use it like for a couple hours before bed. That's pretty much the rule.
A couple of years ago, I didn't delete Facebook, but I just removed the app from my phone.
Sure.
And I do not go on Facebook at all anymore. I've got it.
Yeah.
The first like week or two, I was just like, oh man, I mean, the app's not there, but I can just type it in and it's still there. And search for the app and turn it on.
Yeah.
But after like a week, I was like, I'm not going to
There's nothing in here.
Well, no, I was like, I'm not going to keep typing in Facebook. Like, how addicted am I to type in Facebook?
Facebook
Fuck
is
that.
boring. I have the app
Yeah.
I'm on, but I don't do anything.
I'm sorry,
with
guys.
it.
I'm addicted to Facebook
Really?
Marketplace and looking at shit. Oh my God, there's so many cool shit in there. And I'm like, I'm going to save this. I'm never going to buy it, but I'm going to save this.
But my point being, if you're one of those people who are just like constantly logging onto TikTok or Instagram,
Oh,
whatever,
yeah.
remove the app from
Remove
your
the
phone.
app. If that's
you don't have
like-
to delete your account, but just take it off of, like, take the icon off of your phone.
I did that with TikTok because I was like, I never go on there. I'm like, let's take this off.
Yeah.
Make it harder to do the things you don't want to do,
Right.
and easier to do the things you do want to do. That's like
So if you delete the app, how are you gonna post in it?
Well, at the end of the day, I'll say this as simple as possible. Spend more time making content
Creating,
than
yeah.
consuming
it.
content.
That's it.
That's it. Just spend that time editing your videos, making sure that, coming up with ideas, with concepts, with anything that you feel is going to be good for your business, not ignoring that the house is burning down and you got to go get some fucking water.
I'm going to go against that grain, though, because sometimes it is good to consume content to know what works.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. But you should still be spending more time making it than consuming it.
Yeah. It's
So-
the same thing with tattoos. You should spend more time drawing than looking at drawings. Inspiration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get that analysis paralysis where you're like, oh dude, I made this, but now I'm not satisfied with it. You stay on that one piece of content for days. When you just put that thing out there, go create another one, dude.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people get caught with that because they want to make something. This is going to be the one that goes viral, and I get a bazillion fucking clients.
Don't worry about
Don't
going
worry
viral.
about it,
Don't
dude.
worry about going viral.
Just keep making it.
To answer your question, Hermes, like if you delete the app, how do you post? Well, like don't delete the app, but
Yeah.
But
I get it.
Make content for the week and just store it on your phone. And then at the end of the week, you can schedule it. Like, all right, I'm going to post this piece on Monday. I'm going to post this piece on Tuesday. Let the app schedule it for you. That way you don't have to be on it every day doing it.
True.
Yeah.
I got some funny reels that I got to finish editing. They are going to go on to the Honest Tattooer podcast page.
And I was so bummed out that the It's Always Sunny one that I put out the other day didn't go well. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, see, nobody did.
No, maybe
There
they
was no
just
views on
maybe it could have been because of It's Always Sunny. Maybe there's some sort of weird like
Personally, I think that the other two that are up there right now, most recently, are doing really well. That Instagram's just like, let those two do their thing, and then don't even worry about this one.
The Shark Tank one.
The Shark Tank one and the tattoo school one where they're meditating.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
like those have been up for a couple of days and people are still seeing those. But no, I did one with It's Always Sunny, and it's the scene where Frank is cutting his toenails with a knife, and it's him. He's like, "Oh, botched job." Oh. And so Vega edited it for me, and it's like Frank being like, botched it," and the caption is, "This is The Apprentice."
Oh.
And then he's like, "Oh, it's bleeding like a stuffed pig. Get me some trash to plug the cut." And then it goes to Mac. He's like, Don't plug up the cut with the trash. Like, don't do that. And I'm like, that's not there. It's funny.
That's funny.
It's Always Sunny. It's funny. But
There's nothing funnier than explaining funny content to people when you're not
I'm
looking
gonna
at
cut
it.
all
Trust me, it's funny.
But yeah, the Shark Tank one. That's exciting.
Yeah.
right?
Oh, man.
Are you excited to get a robot tattooer in your shop?
Damn, dude. No, not at all. I don't want any robot tattooers in my shop unless it's me and I'm super bionic because I'm all about being a bionic man. But
Are you afraid of it?
No, I'm not afraid of the robot.
We're not there yet.
I don't think it's to be feared until the prices of the tattoos on that drop drastically.
Drastic.
Right.
Like right now, they're like a couple of grand for a small tattoo.
Right.
They're still expensive for what they are.
I
Yeah.
think eventually, if tattooers actually decide to upload designs, like I think that's the biggest problem with that is that there's not enough people who are willing to be a part of the.
There will be.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Well, one of the things like from the pitch is that they want to create royalties
Right.
for the people creating the designs. In theory, like what he's saying is like, oh, tattooers can make designs for it. Like, but you know who's really gonna make designs for this? Like, just creative artists.
Right.
They're gonna be like, dude, I fucking crank out designs all day long, and I'm gonna push it onto this machine, and then tattooers
Passive
gonna,
income.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's going to open up tattoo. And now I want to disclose, like, I'm not for or against this thing, right? I'm just always observing change because the only constant in life, in business, is change. And I would rather embrace the change so that I can either use it, like say there's a shop that's like, oh, I want to have some automatic robot tattoo artists just doing the little shit that I don't want to do. Or I can embrace it but go against it and say, I am going to brand and emphasize the importance of hand-done, artisanal, organic, homegrown tattoos, but getting angry about it is useless. It's pointless. So I was prefacing that because people think that I'm like for, robot tattoo. I'm not for or against it. I just see it's coming down the pipeline. So
Acknowledging the fact that it's there.
Let's just acknowledge that it's there.
Yeah.
And let's acknowledge the fact that there are, in the future, and I don't know when, there are going to be fully automated tattoo shops where you just have a stack of robot tattoo artists. People are going to download, they're going to AI generate their image on the screen. They're going to upload it into the machine. They're going to stick their arm in it and they're going to pay, $50 and they're going to get their AI generated robot tattoo done.
Wild.
It's going to happen.
It's a matter of time. So,
And so then you got to start to ask yourself, take your emotion, take your biases out. You can get them back. You can put them on the shelf. You can have them back after. But just ask yourself, if all you had to do was draw a tattoo and a machine could apply it perfectly, better than you could, to the person with less pain and quicker, would you do tattoos? Just think, and some people say yes, some people say no. There's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah.
Now what if you could tattoo 5 people simultaneously, and all you had to do was create the
designs?
Artwork. All you had to do was create the designs and spend your time on that creative part of the process. Now, tattooing's hella fun, but would you not tattoo? Would you not be a tattoo artist anymore if you're doing that?
I don't think
no,
so.
you
Yeah,
wouldn't.
you wouldn't be a tattoo artist. You would just be an artist, a designer.
You'd be a tattoo designer.
You'd be a tattoo designer. Yeah, exactly.
tattoo
If you had never done tattoos.
For sure.
Now, I think that the artist that actually knows how to do a tattoo, just like in the same way like jewelry, I have a background and I went to school for jewelry. The best jewelry designers are the people that know how to weld. They know, they understand structural integrity of jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
The best tattoo designers are always going to be people that have actually spent time needle to skin. They know what's happening. They know how it's going to age. But it is interesting what it will do, what will open up for the future of tattoo artists. Someone who's just learning to tattoo today, 10 years from now, they might find themselves owning 5 automatic tattoo machines, and all they do is design it.
So you talking about going into a shop that's fully automated, you go to the booth, it makes me think of like, you go to any McDonald's now, right?
Yeah.
And they've got the self checkout things where
Yeah.
you touch the screen, you pick out what you want,
Yeah.
and then you go to the counter and pick up your food.
Yep.
And there's a market for that.
Totally.
But then there's also still going to be people going to restaurants,
100%.
sitting down, wanting to be catered to
Yeah.
and served.
Absolutely.
And that's still a booming market too. So like,
Totally.
I think that there's room for both. I don't know. Again, like I don't.
I do think there's room for both.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. This isn't going to take your job and all of a sudden tattoo it. I don't think that at all. But it will change the field. It will change the game.
For sure.
Is Black Dot's idea to be able to sell the machines also, or
Yeah.
So they're going to
Sure.
have those machines in shops and then have technicians, I guess, if you will.
Right. That's their idea, is that they would sell it to shops, and that theoretically, like they have some tattooer in Turkey who was like designing stuff, and he was saying he's excited that he could sell his designs, people could get his tattoos, and now they're going to link the designs up to the blockchain. So like this design can only be done 3 times.
Oh, okay.
And then the machine will never let it be done again after that many
So there can be
times.
limited designs.
There's limited designs, and you'll get your custom NFT with your tattoo, and they can do all kinds of stuff like that.
People still care about NFTs? That's a thing?
No.
I think people don't care about NFTs.
But you'll get one.
But I feel like there's a lot of people still using them. They just don't use the word NFT because it now has like a bad or dark kind of thing tied to it from like
it
crashing,
has
but
a use. It
has
has a
it does
purpose,
have a
but the
use.
whole like trading card collector thing, I think that was
yeah,
ridiculous.
like all that shit's kind of done with. But like, let's say you bought a piece of art, and instead of having to have some crazy like appraisal there's like a
Right.
non-fungible token like attached to that piece of art that you bought, and
Right,
it says
right.
that is the genuine like piece of art that you bought from that
Right.
artist. Or it could be let's say like a watch, a very expensive watch, or something of the sort, where you're like, oh yeah, it tracks that, that it's not a counterfeit version of that, and things like that. So there's still uses for the NFT, the non-fungible token part of NFTs. Instead of saying, oh, buy 20 of these kitty cats or apes for a lot of money. For $1 million.
I'm still stuck on the whole automated because I never even thought about that. And one of the most lucrative businesses that you can get into as a side hustle is having a automated laundromat.
Yeah.
And
Laundromats are big.
Now I'm
big
thinking
money.
about people just like buying these rooms,
dude,
and just stocking it with a bunch of these machines.
Laundromats that have tattoo machines in them.
There
While
you
you're
go.
waiting to get your laundry. Yo, they're all in one. It's the combo dryer/tattoo machine.
That's wild.
While you're waiting,
around here, guys, and we're in the Lower Side of New York City, there is a booming business, and it's a photo booth.
You see, they moved.
Yes,
They moved.
They had to get a bigger place.
It's fucking crazy,
dude. There's always a line around the block to go to this photo booth. And I don't even know if there's anybody like an attendant, or it's still just like a matter of
somebody
people
will
make a
go and
reservation or-
check on things. But
Yeah.
I don't think it's there.
So for those listening, this started out as just like a hole, literally a hole in the wall with a photo booth with a curtain, and I'd see at least 20 to 30 people waiting outside in the cold just to take a picture.
Yeah.
And no matter what time of day you walk past, there was going to be people there waiting. They then moved from this hole in the wall to like a legit storefront.
Yeah.
Probably a couple of 100 square feet.
Yeah.
And there's still people lined up around the block outside.
Is there multiple photo booths now?
I don't know what's in there.
I don't know either.
It's part of the allure, probably. Like the fact that you don't even know, because it's like just completely like black, like
Okay.
so you can't see what's inside.
Okay.
But there's people around the block trying to
Wow.
get photos.
And I think it's like $8. At least it was when it was over here in the small location.
Okay.
$8 to get a couple of pictures taken.
Damn.
Damn.
What are these photos? What's going on?
But
What's
it
special about
caters more to teenagers. So
Sure.
I'll say
Yeah.
that.
Young kids love to
Yeah.
take photos,
So-
man.
Are there props in there? I don't think
They have, like, Snapchat filters on
what's
it or
in
something?
there. I have no idea.
No, I think it's just like your standard. But what do you get? Like 3 or 5 pictures. You do a different pose. And you
Yeah,
different
it's good,
silly
but I mean, like
poses.
even here
Pop, pop, pop.
in
Next.
a lot of bars here in New York, they'll have like those photo booths, and those are a hit. There's anytime
But-
I've gone to a bar, there's those photo booths are
20
always, and there's like at least $5
But
for like a
that's
set
21
of
and up. So kids that cannot go in,
Yeah.
they'll go there.
they go there. Anybody can get those photos.
Park one of those photo booths in your tattoo shop.
Here's an idea for everybody: get one of those
Yeah.
photo booths, put like tattoo filters on them, so you can take a picture and make yourself look like you're all tatted up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, check it out.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Or get a washer dryer, put it in your tattoo shop. Wow. Get your clean underwear done while you're getting tattooed.
Dude, there's like a gas station that just opened up around my house, and on their opening day, they were giving if you like filled up your tank, they were going to give you a free carton of eggs.
Oh, wow.
A carton of eggs for their opening day. I was like, dude, in this economy, you're giving away free eggs, dude. Like, this is incredible.
They just announced egg prices dropped 50%
Oh shit,
When?
over the last 3 weeks. It dropped
About
50%.
fucking time.
that's about time.
It,
I feel like that's been the metric that everyone's just like, but when is the price of eggs going to get cheaper? Like, you're doing all this shit. You're cutting all these government things.
I want the eggs
Trading-
down.
Yeah, tip
what are
me
my
in
eggs?
tips. Tip me in eggs.
Tip me in eggs.
Eggs, dude.
the
eggs.
the price of eggs dropped 50% over the last 3 weeks from the wholesale price. It still hasn't dropped that much yet.
Okay.
The consumer side of it.
Because I think it's like after they get used to making so much money,
Yeah.
why would they bring
Right.
the price down? They're
Right,
like,
right.
Oh, they're willing to pay this much
the
for
wholesale
eggs?
price drop? All right,
Yeah.
don't tell anyone.
Yeah. They're like, oh, we're gonna make all this money for at least another month.
Yeah.
That's wild. Oh damn.
That was good.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Hour 20.
Oh shit. See, time flies when you're
Time
talking.
flies.
Time flies.
Hey, can I say something?
No.
Since
Of course, bro.
since few of us from the shop are gonna be to the Hudson Valley Convention.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe. It's coming up, not this week, but next one. Maybe you guys come
Well,
say
actually, by
hi.
time this airs, I think it would be
That same weekend, that Monday, right?
Yeah, that convention already passed.
Oh, well.
It was good to see you there. Thanks for coming.
Still coming.
Hope you guys went to the Hudson Valley Tattoo Convention. It is a great show. I'm really sad I'm not going this year, but it is my son's birthday, so we're planning a bunch of, birthday activities that whole weekend, and
Gotta be a good dad.
gotta
Yeah.
be a good
Do
dad.
it.
He's still not old enough to be like, buddy, deal with it. I gotta go to a convention. Come work the booth with for me.
Well, if anyone is needing help marketing stuff, feel free.
Yeah.
Shoot me a DM. I'm always around. I have a lot of good shit on YouTube content, YouTube long form, free stuff to check out. And if any male tattooers are thinking about going on a retreat, shoot Dan a DM. DK Reset Revival. We would love to have you there. Maybe John will be there. Maybe Matt.
Maybe, yeah.
And that's going to be in Costa Rica also.
That's going to be in Costa Rica.
Costa Rica is beautiful, by the way. I must
Gorgeous.
say that.
Oh my god, it was so beautiful.
Amazing.
The water, crystal clear beaches. It's gorgeous. Yeah.
I went to Costa Rica a couple of years ago for a bachelor party, and so you were talking about ATVing throughout the jungle. 12 of us went, and almost 11 of us came back.
It's the same in Greece. Tourists rent RVs, and it's like always
They're like, that's it. I'm changing my
always
name.
crash.
I'm starting a new life.
My story is not even like that. So we were ATVing through the jungle, and the guy who was last in line. So it started out. There's a guy in the front as like the tour guide,
Yeah.
directing the way. All 12 of us from the bachelor party, and then a tour guide in the back, making sure that he's got eyes on everybody. And the guy, our friend, who was last in line, we're going around a turn high up in the mountain, and he made the turn a little too wide, and whoop, he
No
went down.
way,
He went
dude.
down.
Holy
The
shit.
only thing that stopped him from falling like 200 feet was his arm got tangled up in, I think, poison ivy or something.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
crap.
But the ATV just all the way down.
Shit.
Totaled the ATV. And of course, before we went, everyone's like, all right, who's going to put all this stuff on their credit card? And no one would like do it. So I wound up doing it.
No way, dude.
And I was like, the only thing I could think about was like, this guy's half dead. But I'm like, fuck, man, I have to pay for this ATV.
Fuck, dude.
Well, hopefully that won't happen, but who knows? What happens in Costa Rica stays in Costa Rica. Well, it's going to be a good time.
That sounds like a great time. Always great having you, man. And guys, I don't know. I guess we'll just see you next week.
All right.
Awesome.
Later.
Thanks.
And hopefully Gabe will be back.
Oh,
It's funny. It's funny when we have conversations and I'm like, "Oh man, Gabe would have had a lot to say." Like,
Yep. All
always
right.
good.
Cool.
all right, take care, guys. See you next week. Peace.
What is this book in your lap, Matt?
What is that?
So our good friend and listener of the show, Brett Haynes, sent us a copy of the Tattoo Oracle. Can you see that? Is that on?
That's cool.
And what this is
What does it say on the front? Right there?
it says a choose your own destiny tattoo design prompt guidebook for tattoo collectors and tattoo artists.
Cool.
So if you're struggling, if you've got some brain block, you can't think of something to draw, or your client comes in and is like, I want a cool tattoo, but I don't know what. If you got a copy of this book, they could scroll through it. And the fun thing is on each page, there's 3 prompts. And
It's the eagle.
so this one says Eagle, Funky, New School. So it's always going to be a kind of like an element,
Element.
a description.
modifier.
Yeah, and then a
style.
Thank
Got
you.
it.
Because I couldn't say that. Thank you. So one thing that me, Vega, and Matt Buck did the other night is we gave ourselves just I think a 10-minute time limit.
Yeah.
Each of us picked one thing out of the page. So like Vega would pick the subject, I would pick the descriptor, and then Matt would pick the style.
The style.
And we would flip through different pages. So like I would go, all right, I'm going to do Plague Doctor. Vega would do Party. So a party in
Plague Doctor Party.
And then in the style of Tratty.
That sounds
Nice.
sick, actually.
It's
That
really
sounds
fucking
dope.
cool. So
Yeah.
if you're having a hard time thinking of something to draw, or you just want to have a cool time with your buddies, this is really fun.
It's like Cards Against Humanity for designing your tattoos.
yeah.
yeah, that sounds
Sick.
actually pretty fun.
And I recorded us doing this. Matt Buck, man, fuck that guy, dude.
I know. He's
He's so
good,
good
man.
at
He's
drawing.
so good at drawing, dude.
The one that man, I'll just let you guys watch the video. it was dinosaur, Tratty, silly, I think it was.
Yeah.
And dude, he did the Aloha monkey design.
Yeah.
With the buttholes.
Yeah.
He did that as a dinosaur though.
Oh, sick.
Just off the cuff, out of the top of his head, a dinosaur leaning over like that, like
Showing the butthole.
Can anybody do that off the top of their head? No, absolutely not. But Matt Buck, was
Matt
able
Buck
to
can
do it.
pull that off.
Dude, it was amazing.
Savage.
So I'll throw that up on the video.
Well, guys, be like Matt Buck.
Yeah.
Go draw really well.
All right, later.
All right. Later, guys.
bye.